Is working from home making you richer or is it making you poorer? Jump in the comments and let us know what your reactions are to that question. In today's video, we want to explore the true costs of working from home.
That's right. Since the pandemic, most of us, although not all of us, have gotten accustomed to working from home. We asked you guys in our communities tab here on YouTube, and we'll put your results up on the screen. We asked you guys, what is your current work from home situation? 30% of you said you are working from home 100% of the time. About 14% said working from home 4 days and then 1 day in the office. Another 19% said working from home 3 days and then 2 days in the office, and so on. But 23% of you though said you are working in the office 100% of the time. So a mixed bag. Most of you guys though are still working from home in some capacity. So on the back of that response, we then asked you guys, is working from home making you richer or poorer? And your responses said so much. So we're going to share those responses on today's video. This is going to be fun, but there's a massive learning point from today's video. So we're going to react to what you guys said as well as share perspectives from our own real world experience. Does that sound good? Definitely make sure you're in the comments like Mary said earlier and react to this video as you watch it.
Yes, and if you like the sound of that, why not like this video? And also, whilst we're at it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already so that you can get notified when we publish our videos twice a week, usually on a Tuesday and a Thursday. All right, now let's start with the people who thought that working from home made them richer.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
So we're going to put these up on the screen so you can react as well. So Rail Talks said working from home made her richer and chubbier.
This one definitely had me chuckling.
Yeah, I cracked up when I saw this one because I can relate to this, right? Because I said to you, for me, definitely, you're going to tell me in a minute what you think of working from home. For me, I feel like working from home has definitely made me a lot more unfit. Because when I used to go into the office, I used to, every day I'd come back and I'd show off to you, I say, look, I've got my 10,000 steps. But these days, like if I get 1,000 steps, I'm kind of like begging 1,000 steps.
Yeah, you are.
So yeah, definitely for me, that is a big kind of con of working from home. Are you a big fan of working from home?
Yes, 100%. I'm always active, whether it's making breakfast or lunch or doing something, I'm getting up from my desk quite a lot. So I'm not a desk potato, is that what you call it?
Couch potato.
Couch potato, like by my desk. Yeah.
All right, what's that next one?
So La Sofia said, save money on eating out. My morning commute has been replaced with meditation and stretching. And my evening commute with physical exercise. I am also more flexible with my breaks and more productive.
Wow, that sounds very idyllic.
It does.
Isn't it?
It sounds like somebody who's very disciplined with the time that
is
she
amazing.
has staying back.
Yeah, you need to teach us like how you do that. I think that's brilliant.
Message us.
The very next one said, and this came from Hope179, and they said, I work 2 work from home jobs, 8 to 11 p.m. So this is a long day for this person, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. This wouldn't have been possible if I had to commute. I'm able to save money, and although I work long hours, my day job is very laid back and flexible as long as I complete my tasks. So all in all, I am very happy. Wow.
Nice.
Do you know what? There's been a rise in people doing 2 contracts and doing 2 jobs. Their employers don't necessarily know that and stuff. But you know, like people are doing their thing and building wealth. And I think that's
smart.
Yeah, well,
right?
it's smart, but I'm not you know.
Is it the right thing to do?
I'm not condoning anything. I'm just saying, like,
we're not giving ideas.
That's really it. No ideas. Right, what's the next one?
All right, so the next one is Justina Korn, who said, less time to buy crap I don't need. More healthy food habits, more focused time to improve productivity, and future opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. The one about just not buying crap, right? Because when you go into the office, there's always this allocated budget for stuff. You go on lunchtime and people you just have to buy stuff, right?
I never used to buy crap when I used to go into work.
I used to.
Do you know what it was that got me? The Krispy Kremes. Every week there was... We had the fruits, but there was also trays and trays of Krispy Kremes, yeah.
I bet no one touched the fruit.
No, we always had the fruit.
Did you?
But, yeah, I made sure I got my 5 different fruits, but the Krispy Kremes, I never said no.
So, next one is, the CX budget said, less cost for lunch, petrol, and work clothes and putting into birthdays and tea club etc. More time to plan meals and shop smarter.
There was always a collection for birthdays, wasn't there? Or somebody leaving.
Yes, that's true.
And if you have children, then in certain schools, you're always collecting money for your teachers. Christmas presents, birthday presents, and then you've got your work colleagues.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice.
Do you know what? I kind
Every
of
now
miss
and
that.
again.
That's community, isn't it? In a way.
Yeah, it is community. That was nice, actually.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, make sure, guys, you guys hang on, because the people who said working from home made them poorer, it's so insightful. And there's some people who had a mixed bag. We're going to be touching on those and sharing some research you do not want to miss.
Yeah.
So definitely hang on for those. What's our next one?
Right, so the next one is from TZ, and TZ said, saving a whole lot by working remotely. Moved out of the UK since I can work from anywhere, so able to reduce my cost of living and invest more. So
That is location independence, man.
Exactly.
I love
and
that.
Location arbitrage as well, so they're able to live somewhere that's not expensive but still earn the same amount of money that they would in the UK.
Definitely.
So that's brilliant.
Pana Anna said, definitely richer. So she's definitely richer for working from home. Even including high energy costs, it's cheaper to pay for energy with today's prices than commuting to the office in my case. Okay, so that's really interesting, isn't it? And it'd be interesting to know if you're like in a couple type situation, or if you're a single person. Because obviously, if you're a couple, you use a lot more energy compared to a single person. And what's the next one?
Okay, so the next one is from Robert, who said commuting used to cost 6k per year.
6k.
Say no more.
Wow,
Right.
that is literally it. And then there's a bunch of others. I'm going to put them all up on the screen. They're all quite similar. Faye Coker said, save money traveling and eating out. Just Bless says, richer in quality of life. Yes. And then the final one says, less fuel, less meals out, less wear and tear on car, and car losing value by adding mileage and more time. So all those people said that working from home made them richer. So let's hear the opposing argument for the people who said, do you know what? Nah, this thing's made me poorer. So who's our first one?
Okay, so Afrinet Trinity said, under normal circumstances, I'd say richer. But I'm working from home and just went and bought Beyonce tickets, which I might have been distracted from doing if I was in the office. Hilarious.
Do you know what?
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious, right?
But that's interesting. You don't know. She might have actually still bought it if she was in the office.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you really want to go to the concert, like you just go anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But one thing's for certain is that personal admin does get in the way sometimes when we're working from home.
Yes.
In those working hours. But yeah.
Now this next one really hit for me, and we'll put this up on the screen. It says, and this comes from Evoke the World One, said, poorer for me because the workday now never truly ends, making it difficult to focus on side hustles.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That is so insightful. How do you create those boundaries?
That's the one word I thought. Boundaries. You need to create boundaries and manage expectations from your employer. So it requires you need to.
And this is hard for people because not everybody has the space. Think about it. Because, okay, you and I, we could say we've got a boundary. We've got a study. You shut the door in the study. You're like, yeah, I've closed my study. Or we could come out to this studio.
Yeah.
You know, it's a blessing we have that we have this space. But not everybody has that.
Close your laptop.
Do you understand?
Just close your laptop. That's all you need.
Yeah, but the laptop is what they use for the side hustle. It's a tough one. Jump in the comments and let us know, how are you creating those boundaries? So if you're working from home and trying to also run a side hustle, how are you doing it? Like, what is your way of doing it to shut down? Because when I was in the office, I'd leave. I remember leaving the office and I'd shut my work door and I'm like, yes, I've left the office. And then I had a 45-minute walk from Marylebone High Street to Charing Cross Station. And that was great. Listen to my music. That was a break. That felt like I'd shut down.
But
Do you
then
understand?
that's a very, very good point. But then you can also argue that sometimes office culture was that it was kind of frowned upon to leave at exactly 5 p.m. Like if you were the first to leave, there will kind of be.
Yeah, but I didn't care, man. Like, people talk anyway.
But that's managing. Yeah, but that's setting. You set your own boundaries. You created boundaries. So and that's what people need to do at home.
Okay, well look, let's shift gears now because some people, not everybody obviously works from home, but the people who work from home, some people had mixed feelings in that they had the pros in that yes, it made them a bit richer, but it also made them poorer. So what's our next one on that one?
So Tom G said, this is a legitimately complicated question. It's made me a tiny bit poorer in my current job because I walk rather London commute and now have to pay for energy I use at home.
Okay.
But I've now just taken on a new job paying 8k more. That entire pay rise has been swallowed up by the cost of going to its London office 2 days a week.
Okay.
Imagine just that 2 days a week of going in has wiped out the 8k
season
increase.
ticket, isn't it? And all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not that I mind. This is a fantastic role I'm going to.
Great.
So being able to work at home 60% of the week has definitely saved me money on the new job, about 5k compared to doing it in the office. But then I wouldn't have taken it full stop if that was the case, and would be spending a tiny bit more on bills to work from home in the job I'm leaving.
Right. Okay. That felt real.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people can relate to this. A lot of people are doing hybrid working now, isn't it? So 2 days in the office, which I think is fantastic actually, because like you and I, we've gone extreme. Like, so we've gone from in the office all the time to at home all the time. And I think that's an extreme. And as much as like, obviously love talking to you and you love talking to me and we love chatting, and that's great. But imagine if we didn't have each other to talk to. Just think about that. Not everybody has that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that hybrid thing is brilliant.
It depends on the stage of life that you're at and your kind of personality.
True.
Because I was working from home, was it a year before you then? So,
Yeah,
and
2019.
I was happy. I love that. That's just me personally.
That was just you.
But other people are different. Some people crave that constant human interaction, especially for somebody who's single and
True.
maybe doesn't have children. That would be very difficult. I might have struggled in that scenario.
Listen, this is it's going to lead really beautifully into this next super important one that came from Sweetie8387. How did they come up with these names? She said, and this hit home. She said she got richer from not commuting and wasting money on cheering myself up from being so run down. And this is the next key bit. But poorer from a social perspective, less people to talk to. Now, this speaks to something that we know about, but do you know what? Once we've shown you the stats, you're going to be shocked.
Yeah.
This is the problem of loneliness. Up on the screen is a bunch of research. We're going to link to all of them below if you guys go and take a deep read. Is a BBC article that says, headline, "Is remote work worse for well-being than people think?" And they had a massive stat, again up on the screen. It said 81% of under 35s, this is your Gen Z, your millennials, right, feared loneliness from long-term home working, and studies have showed heightened levels of stress and anxiety among younger workers since the shift to remote work. Whoa, 81%. React to that in the comments. Are you one of the 81%? Let's be real, right? This is such an important topic, and it's partly why we're making this video, because I just think it's important to do work that matters and highlight issues that truly, truly matter, issues that we can all relate to. And this is one of them. Yeah. Loneliness, big deal. And further up on this screen is another screenshot, and they interviewed this lady called Nicola Hemmings, and she says Nicola Hemmings is a workplace scientist at a mental health provider, blah blah. You scroll down in that same box, it says there's a rapidly growing mental health crisis, and even those who fully embrace a move to remote work might not be exempt. And then it goes on to say, when working remotely, we miss out on the social cues of a busy office and much needed social interactions. Catching up in the corridor, making a drink in the kitchen, while checking in and asking about the weekend. Do you know what? I never thought I'd ever miss all that small talk.
Yeah, same. But it actually had its role. It had some significant importance in, like they mentioned, the point about the social cues. It's true, you just would never get that from maybe like a Zoom call with your colleagues. Feel free, pause that and read. And he even made references to child-free millennial and the fact that they are very likely to be affected even more. Okay, this demographic. I want you guys to just react. As you're watching this, pause, think, react, jump in the comments and let us know. So we were also looking at the website's campaign to end loneliness and found some astonishing stats which we're going to put up on the screen for you to see. We're going to look at loneliness at different ages. So firstly, let's look at loneliness and people of all ages. So here they're saying that in total 45% of adults feel occasionally, sometimes or often lonely in England. This equates to 25 million people.
25 million.
Yeah.
25 million
That's
people.
a big number. Okay, so this next graphic that we're going to look at goes into a bit more detail about gender and age, how it affects them in terms of them being lonely. Now, if you see on the graph up on the screen, you have women from the ages of 16 to 24 most affected, followed by women aged 35 to 44.
Wow.
And then you can see that men aged 45 to 54 were also affected, and then you can see the rest of the graph as to how the genders are affected.
Yeah, we're going to be sharing more about this, but before we even go into that, let's just touch on, and I've never seen these stats. Obviously, you know that there's a link between loneliness and health, but up on the screen, people, is a shocking statistic about loneliness and health. It says, and I read, second line there, loneliness, living alone, and poor social connections are as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Well, and the next, if you go again where that second arrow is, it says loneliness increases the risk of high blood pressure. Then it says loneliness with severe depression is associated with early mortality. And loneliness is a risk factor for depression later in life. Do you know, as I say this, I'm just thinking of friends, family, people who we know that sometimes you feel like, I think I should check in on this person.
Absolutely.
But life is just busy. Like, we're just getting on doing stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I felt the same when I was reading these stats. We definitely need to check in on our loved ones, on our friends, and not just assume that a little catch up on WhatsApp will suffice. We should actually go out of our way to look out for our family and friends.
And up on the screen is the BBC. Again, this is research. Again, it says there, loneliness is a bigger health risk than smoking or obesity. And you can see that at the bottom. They're referencing the NHS prescriptions for gardening. We've been doing gardening lately. And dancing as vitally needed to help tackle rising levels of loneliness after lockdowns, after that whole horrible phase of the pandemic.
Let's go back to loneliness and gender. So again, some research showed, according to the ONS, women reported feeling lonely more frequent than men. And they were significantly more likely than men to report feeling lonely often, always, some of the time, and occasionally, and were much less likely than men to say that they never felt lonely. While higher percentages of older women report loneliness compared to men, a greater number of older men, 50 plus, report moderate to high levels of social isolation.
Do you know what? I know, because as a man, I know for certain that there are moments when I feel there's that loneliness that exists just generally with friendships and this whole digital world. We're all speaking to each other on WhatsApp you're chatting to your friends on WhatsApp, but it's not the same thing, is it?
It's not the same.
You're not with them and you're not having that man-to-man thing where you're proper watching out for each other. And men, we don't really get as vulnerable. We're not I do. I chat sometimes like crazy, but not every man does that. Not every man actually opens up and talks about how they're feeling, what they're struggling with, and stuff like that. And this then made me research this more, and I'll put this up on the screen. And the headline just stopped me. I literally it says how loneliness is killing men.
This just got very serious.
I know this is an important topic. We're doing this because there's a direct link between that and working from home. That whole thing. And if you pause and you can look at this in your own time, feel free to pause. There are many reasons why men are lonely. Okay? And you can see one of them at the bottom there in that screenshot up on the screen. It says there's more too. And then you throw in working from home, the closure of pubs, and this is all this stuff that happened during
COVID.
During COVID, for example. This particular article was actually written in November 2022. So only a few months from when we're making this video. It's only 5 months from when we're making this video. So working from home is a big factor, in addition to many others that affect men. Even the fact that some people can't afford accommodation where they have shared accommodation with other men. So they're having to live in like single accommodation, which heightens the loneliness that a lot of men feel. And because a lot of men don't open up and talk about how they feel, it leads to various very, very sad outcomes.
So let's look at how loneliness affects people in a family setting. So a survey by Action for Children found that 43% of 17 to 25-year-olds who use their service and experience problems with loneliness, and that of this same group, less than half said that they felt loved.
Less than half.
Wow. Action for Children have also reported 24% of parents surveyed said that they were always or often lonely.
And then you're throwing all the digital devices, all the games, all the online bullying,
the fact
all
that
the
they're
stuff.
always glued to their device.
Yeah, exactly that.
So even if this talks to a family setting, that someone can still feel lonely.
Yes, and we
They're
know
not
this.
they're not alone, but they're still
we're
lonely.
parents,
Yeah.
so we know this, that observing children, that world can feel very, you feel like you're playing games with people, but it's very isolating at the same time as well. You'd be on that thing for hours. Do you know what? And I hope you guys have enjoyed us going into this topic, because like even Mary and I are learning a lot from this topic around loneliness and the impact of that working from home. The way working from home contributes to loneliness for people. We even saw, there's a recent article on the BBC about women, and like women joining like lots of groups. For like, people are so lonely in London, for example. They're needing to because like London's a big city, people are like no one. People are working from home.
Like
everyone's just doing their thing and huge topic. In addition to that, there are a few more people who said that they had mixed feelings about working from home, okay? And we'll put these up on the screen. For example, Travel Well 6049 says, no significant difference for them, but here are my considerations. I make lunch at home, cheaper than buying food at work, plus I just buy junk from the shop at work just because it's there. I save money on petrol and parking at the same home. Wi-Fi is unlimited, so I'm effectively paying for it even when I'm not there. However, I did have to pay extra to make sure it's fast enough to handle team meetings. Nobody talked. Wi-Fi is a big thing. It's not getting cheaper. Like we just had Wi-Fi go up by 15%. Inflation, crazy, right? And then this person says, the central heating comes on with a timer in the evenings. I don't put it on during the day, whether I'm home or not. No difference, they said. Time saved on the commute. I appreciate this isn't money, but to me, my time is more valuable than money. Amen to that. Say that again. Very important. And if money were more important, then the extra time and energy I have can go towards the side hustle. Money and time are very important, but time is worth more than money any day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. What's the next one?
So next person, Tom, said saving long term as not forking out $4.5K in annual train tickets and spending money on the odd lunch drinks when at the office. But a large chunk of savings made are going on energy and food, being at home more. And then the final one, the chosen Mo, said richer in the fact the amount of money saved on fuel offsets increase in gas electricity bills, and richer in the sense that the extra 2.5 hours I get back daily for not traveling back and forth. Poorer in the sense I reckon I could have got further in my career if I was in the office to get possible promotions.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That's so interesting,
So this is the point I made. It really depends on what stage you are at in your life as to whether it's actually a benefit for you to work from home or actually it's not.
Yeah.
I think if someone's young and they're still early in their career, it definitely helps them to be seen in the office.
Yeah, I agree. Particularly if you're an ethnic minority. Like, I know this dimension, some people might not even think about it. But I bet there's a racial dimension as well. Like almost as though working from home and being an ethnic minority might compound, potentially, I might be wrong, just me speculating, might compound a disadvantage. around like promotions and all that office gossip and politics, which I honestly hate so much. It irritates me thinking about it.
Yeah.
But this exists. This is a reality people face, right? And this is every day. And I had to go through it for 15 years of my career, but it's a good point, But look, all of that to say, and if you've watched it to this point, in fact, if you've watched it to this point, what should they drop in the comments just so we know?
Maybe, is there a laptop emoji to signify working from home?
If you've worked it,
Ken's like, huh? I know that's what
I never expected a laptop emoji. If you watched it to this point of the video,
mobile phone.
jump in the comments and drop a laptop emoji.
If there isn't a laptop, then a mobile phone.
Yeah. Just drop one of those, a phone or a laptop emoji, so we know you watch it to this point. But all in all, we wanted to just say, up on the screen is a summary of how you guys voted on whether this made you richer or poorer. 83%, that is a staggering number, of you, almost 1,000 of you said that working from home has overall made you richer, compared to 17% who said it's made them poorer. And then there were some people who said, well, actually, is there an option for neither, So there's obviously that middle ground that naturally exists. But what about you guys? As Mary started this video with, has working from home made you richer overall or poorer overall, or just indifferent? Jump in the comments, react, and let us know.
Guys, we really hope this video gave you lots of food for thought. One thing we'd love for you to consider are the health and social implications from working from home. Beyond the fact that it either saves us money or saves us time working from home.
Or makes us money even.
Or makes us more money, exactly.
Yeah, super important. If you really enjoyed today's video, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. That gives us a bit of a signal that you are loving the sort of topics we're talking about on this particular channel. We've really enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I've loved it, guys.
I've just loved talking about it. I hope you've enjoyed it too.
Video.
And do make sure you share this video with one other person who you think will also enjoy today's video.
Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care, people.
Bye.